We are previewing Week 14 in the NFL here at SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak, and we're going to get to the Dallas Green Bay game right now with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Joe Duffy, Green Bay, of course. Is it really a shock that they won the way they did last week? It just seems Aaron Rodgers seems like a magician out there, and now they have extra rest here as a 7-point home favorite against Dallas. And Dallas, of course, playing on a short week. They played on Monday Night Football. And they got the win against Washington. So it's a really big advantage here, at least on paper, for Green Bay in terms of rest. I don't know, though. 7 points feels like a lot. Green Bay still has some fundamental issues in their passing game. Rodgers and his receivers, it doesn't look like it's the well-oiled machine that it has been in the past. And then they're also having injuries on the offensive line. And Dallas has a strong defense, which could be a mismatch that favors Dallas. Again, though, Dallas coming off the Monday night game and Green Bay coming off of the Thursday game appears to my eye to give a good edge to a Green Bay. 7 points is a lot, though. What's your take on this one? -7, total's 43.5.
When on Thursday night, when a team is coming off a Thursday night game the previous week and the other team's coming off a Monday night game, in fact, the team with the less rest is 13-11 against the spread. Now, again, that's not an angle, but it tells you not to outsmart yourself.
Right.
And I tested it even further. I'm like, well, maybe having more rest really helps more late in the season. And I entered, week 11 and further, week 12. No, it does not. So there really is no advantage there. Now, this may be an anomaly. What I found out in doing that research, because the software I use spits out both, it spits out straight up record, ATS record, and over-under record. When you have one team with the 10 days rest and the other team with the 6 days rest, the team coming off a Thursday night game, the other team coming off a Monday night game, it's actually going over at a 20-3 rate. Now, is that an anomaly? Probably, but at least I'm going to put that information out there for somebody who likes that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to quote Bobby Knight. Look, Bobby Knight says, and he's not a very good broadcaster, he's a successful coach, but I think what he says is true in all sports. Often it's tougher to overcome an emotional win than it is an emotional loss. Now, I'll grant you, both of these teams are off of those crazy wins, but in the case of Dallas, where they've had so much problems and they're coming off of a rare win, where Green Bay is an underachieving team, and this is maybe where the short week might be a little tougher because they're both off of such crazy wins, but I do think that is more of a disadvantage for Dallas than it is Green Bay. But all in all, look, when people talk about whether or not a team's going to be pissed off, they always just look at their previous game. In the case of Green Bay, they have underachieved. I think they've got Dallas in a good spot here. They're pissed off. Yes, they won their last game, but they know they should have played a lot better the last 5 or so weeks. I think Green Bay's got the talent and they have the motivation to open a can of whoop-ass here. So I think Green Bay is the play.
Really? So you're liking Green Bay at -7. See, I'm thinking that if the rest issue weren't a factor, I would be liking Dallas a lot just because of their advantage in the trenches. I think they're going to have an advantage defensively against Green Bay's offensive line. But you're going to give Green Bay as an official pick here at -7?
I am, and Peter, like I said, the computer says don't worry about the rest.
All right.
Now,
So maybe,
Now the subjective part is maybe it applies a little bit more because, like I said, both teams are off of emotional wins, and maybe the more added rest would apply there. But as far as do I like this enough to make it a premium pick, at this point, probably not.
But you're going to give it as an official pick for the purpose of our videos?
Yes, sir. I'll give it as an official pick for the purposes of our videos.
All right, Green Bay -7, and that's an interesting stat that Joe Duffy quoted on the total. It's a very low total, 43.5, considering, Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Joe Duffy, tell us what we can find at OffshoreInsiders.com.
And you're right, and you know what? And maybe Dallas are finally developing a little bit of a passing game. They're not going to have Romo, but yeah, at OffshoreInsiders.com, look, I have plenty of theories I've developed over the years, and as computer software gets more sophisticated, I'm able to test which ones are accurate, which ones aren't. We use every single facet of handicapping. 28.5 years of experience pays off for you and me, everybody but the bookmaker at OffshoreInsiders.com.
Thanks, Joe.